So that was Andrew Cross at Integral Powertrain with some phenomenal performance numbers. Now let's go to Warwick Manufacturing Group to hear from Truong Quang Dinh about the full test and simulation they've developed even before a prototype has been created.
WMG is an academic department at the University of Warwick. We bridge the gap between academia and industry, driving innovation in science, technology, and engineering. Our role in the T1 project is all about modeling and simulation of all the key systems together so that we can understand how they will work and respond in the real world. So we can fully test the integration of all these elements before a bike is physically built. Talking about progress and what we have done building up to this phase 2 review, we initially create simple computer models to ensure the right component selection. For example, like making sure the motor have enough power for the performance required and the battery have enough energy for the range. Next, we move on developing more complicated simulation model, allowing us to imitate system on the bike and also mimic the riding in the real world, allowing the development before the bike was even designed. The next step was to build a physical rig wired up with all the control units to help us make sure that all the elements talk to each other properly. All of this is crucial in ensuring that the technology and innovation come together properly and fully to deliver an electric motorcycle that's work in the real world. As with the other partners, we are very excited to have arrived at the review of the powertrain prototype, and I cannot wait to move to the final phase with the running motorcycle.
Thanks to Truong and the WMG team for that great update. Amazing that the entire motorcycle can be tested and real-world riding simulated so accurately before it's even been a physical bike developed. Finally, let's rejoin Steve Sargent here in Hinckley to hear more about Triumph's role and to see for the first time what the Triumph TE1 prototype will look like. So, Steve, can you tell us about Triumph's overall role in the project and what the objectives were?
Absolutely, Jamie. I mean, this project is all about developing a platform for Triumph's future electric motorcycles. I mean, like all our motorcycles, we're looking to develop a Triumph that handles, performs, and delivers without compromise. You know, a riding experience that a rider really wants and expects. Now, achieving this comes down to several areas that we've been leading. And the starting point is the customer insight, you know, understanding what the customer desires from an electric motorcycle, you know, encompassing the type of riding, the range, the feel, and the nature of the power and the torque delivery, you know, the ergonomics, etc. So next up, you know, with the chassis design, this is all about the handling and the dynamics, but, you know, it also encompasses how everything is packaged together in a way that delivers a riding experience that it's exciting, it's new, and yet it feels kind of familiar. With the powertrain and the battery interaction, you know, this is going to deliver a new and an exciting feel. But our objective is to deliver that in a way which feels, you know, kind of intuitive to the rider. You know, we're achieving this through kind of cutting edge control systems and software development, you know, but with safety really at the forefront. And of course, overall, with the styling, our objective here is not to develop something that is different for the sake of being different, but it's something that is desirable in its own right. And of course, you know, it's got to have that distinctive Triumph DNA.
Steve, I understand you have now developed what the TE1 prototype will look like.
For the first time, we can now reveal the styling sketches for this new prototype. So, shall we have a look?
Wow.
Now, as you can see, stylistically and ergonomically, this is going to be a sports roadster. You know, it's got that stripped back, minimal, aggressive look, and it's inspired by our Speed and Street Triple families. Now, the styling is quite clearly modern and fresh, but if you were to ask the average motorcyclist who designed the bike, I'm pretty sure that they'd know it was a Triumph. Now, what you can see here is the clear integration of the powertrain. As you've heard from Dear, Andrew and Truong, all the elements of the project have come together strongly, and we're well on the road to developing this electric Triumph prototype. Now, we're all looking forward to having a complete rideable bike, which we're expecting later in 2021.
Thanks, Steve. It looks amazing. I hope I'm on the list to ride it. So there you have it, an update on the TE1 project. A first sight of the prototype in development. I think you'll agree there is a great deal of game-changing innovation going on Project Triumph TE1 that's bringing together the best in world-leading British technology and innovation and laying out the future platform for electric motorcycling. I'd like to thank all of today's presenters and you for joining us, and look forward to sharing the next exciting step with the final prototype later this year.